Hello, and welcome to a Streets of Rage Remake tutorial. This video will cover how to create your very own custom character for Streets of Rage Remake. So, without further ado, let's just get straight right to the tutorial. Before we do anything, make sure you already have a sprite sheet or whatever sprites you want to use for your custom character ready. And make sure that if the sprite uses black, that you edit and change the color to something slightly lighter. To make sure it's usable later in the process. So just take the black and maybe put the brightness up just a tiny bit. You can do that in the editing software that I'll be talking about later in the video, or anything that you use like Photoshop. So just make sure you get that before you do anything else. I'll explain this more later in the video. The first thing you're going to want to do is download the data for the character you want to overwrite. So basically this means that whatever character you choose to replace in game, that character's moveset will be used for your custom character. So we're going to be looking at, these are the 8 that I have. Sadly you can't just choose any character because I don't have all the FPG data and I'm not really sure where to find all that. If you find it, you can use that. However, these are the 8 that I have, so if you're going to use the ones that I have, those will be in the description down below to download off of Google Drive. You can play as Ash, Axel, Bare Knuckle 3 Axel, Blaze, SR1 Blaze, Max, SR2 Shiva, and Zan. Sorry about that. If any more character files are found, I'll make sure to add them to the folder. Otherwise, those are your options. So, now once you have those downloaded and your character chosen, I'm going to be choosing Axel. You will need to download 4 programs. We're only going to be looking at the first 3 for now. So, in the description, you're going to want to get Denoiser, FPG Edit. So, Denoiser, FPG Edit, and Smart FPG Edit. We're going to be we'll be looking at the last program soon. But for now, we're just going to be looking at FPG Edit. So open the folder. When you first open the application, it may be in another language. So to fix this, you will want to click Utilidades. I'm sorry, I know this is Spanish, and I took Spanish, but I did not. I'm bad at the pronunciation, so I'm very sorry. But you want to do Configure FPG Editor and go down to Cambiar Language del Programa. I'm so sorry. Just click on that, this one at the bottom, and you should see, you won't see this, you should see, let me go to the FPG Edit folder and language. It should be in the LNG folder, and just click English. Double click that and press open and acceptar, and acceptar one more time, and there you go. Now it's in English. So once you've done that, you're going to want to open up, you want to go up here to FPG and click open. Now we're going to want to go to where you have the Streets of Rage Remake data folder that I provided in the description. That'll be right here, remake data. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And you want to click your character of choice. I'll be clicking Axel. We're just going to be using that to make it simple for now. And now you'll click open, and you'll see all these. You can go look through them, scroll through them, and what you want to do, you can double click to look at them and see their width and height, and you can zoom in if you want, but you're not really going to need to be looking through any of these in this application because we're going to be exporting them. So what I would do is go to Denoiser, this folder, open that up, and you can do any folder, but this is what I recommend doing. Go to this and go to Pics. Now you're going to want to get all of these. So just select all and then go up to export. Click that, go to downloads and find that folder, the denoiser pics folder. Click that, make sure that it's open and selected. Now go down to type of resource and you're going to want to click images to BMP. Select that, and you don't have to mess with file name, and now click export. And now you'll see that we have all of the files. You can close FPG Edit now. Now that you have all of your files in the pics folder, you're going to want to go back to the denoiser folder, and you'll see these 3 CMD files. There's compress, denoiser, and noise. We will not be using compress in this tutorial. We will only be using denoiser and noise. For now, just click on noiser.cmd, and I'm gonna I won't back these up. It's fine. Just click on denoiser. If you want to make sure you have these in case you want to use them later, back them up. But I don't think I will be needing that for this tutorial. So click denoise, and it will wait. Please wait. And when there's a lot of images, it may take a minute. It will say this, don't worry, it's still denoising, it just won't have anything to do with .tga files. We won't be using that type of file in this tutorial, so don't worry about this right here. Just wait a second. Done. So now press any key to continue, so I'll just press enter. And now when you check the pics folder, you'll see all of these pictures, all of these images now have been denoised, which basically just means that it took off all those lines and squares and just kind of static looking overlay from the image. So now we can use these in a photo editor. Now that we have all of our BMP files ready, we can move on to that 4th application that I was talking about earlier. Basically, you'll want any kind of editor, photo editor, that will allow you to edit the BMP file type. Now, that could be Photoshop or a similar application. For this tutorial, I will be using GIMP, which there will be a link to it in the description. You cannot use Photopea, which is a browser-based photo editing software. You can only use software that allows you to overwrite certain images, which we'll be using later in the tutorial. So if you don't have Photoshop or any other application, I would recommend getting GIMP, which is a free photo editing software for Windows and I believe Apple, probably Linux computers, so you can use that. Once you open that up, you're going to want to open an image file, and we're going to want to go to, we got to go to where we have our BMP files. So that would be in downloads and down to tutorial files, and it should be in our denoisers pics folder. So just choose the sprite that you want to edit. We're going to be replacing the original sprite with a new one, and you can do that with with any of these files. But for now, we're just going to be using the first file. Open. We'll just open that up, and here you can see we have our main file, or the one that we chose. Just Axel in a normal stance, with the black background. And so, like I said earlier in the video, if you do have characters with black pixels in the sprite, you want to change that to a lighter color. Otherwise, it later on when we okay, sometimes that does weird things when you do that. But if you have one that has black pixels in it, you're going to want to change the black pixels to something slightly lighter. Otherwise, the application we use later, Smart FPG Edit, will believe that it's part of the background and will make it transparent in the game. If you do want to have transparent parts of the character, that's how you do it. Make it black, basically. So now we're going to need to get our sprite that we want to use to replace. I have here a Ryu sprite from Street Fighter. If you open it up, you can see it's just the normal stance. And we're going to want to use that as our replacement sprite. So first of all, we're going to need to find out the dimensions of this sprite. It says here 35 pixels by 79 pixels. You need to make sure whatever sprite you're using, you want to replace with the original sprite. You need to find the pixel count for the length and the width. Otherwise, or not the width, yeah, the length and the height, whatever it is, you know what I mean. You're going to want to find that, and then go back to GIMP and go up to Image and Scale Image. Now for GIMP, you're going to want to press these chains, unchain it, because that will keep things. If I'm doing, what is it, 49 something, that changes that. If you have this off, you can change it freely. So what did I say? 35 by 79. So we're going to change it to 35. 79. And once you've done that, everything should be in order, and you press scale. And here we are. So now it's it got kind of compressed a little bit. That's fine. It won't matter. All you need to do now is take the sprite that you're using, drag and drop it into GIMP, sorry. And here you are. Now it's over the original sprite. So all you're going to want to do now is fill in the background. So make a new layer that's in between the two, and go up to Paint Bucket, or Bucket Fill Tool. Click on that, and make sure that the color is just plain black. So go to the very bottom, make sure it's black, and now fill this layer. Make sure the layer is selected and fill it. So it should look like this. Oops, I just dropped my script. Alright, that's fine. I wasn't really using it. So I believe that I made these colors slightly brighter. I don't know, actually. It kind of looks exactly the same. Can we tell? They look... oh my gosh. I zoomed way too far out. Okay. So it looks like they're the same color. So that will be an issue. I thought I edited it, but that's alright. We're just gonna go with it. And I'll show you what it looks like. Nonetheless, it'll look a little weird, but just keep in mind, change the colors to a lighter color before you put it into the editor. I guess we can I can try real quick to see. You'll see right here, if I can get, I believe, by color, and we can change it to a slightly lighter color. Correct, right? Fill whole selection. Alright, let's just do, now that should be correct, right? Look at that. It doesn't look like it that much. No, is it? I think so. It's really hard to tell. Maybe I should make it a little bit brighter. This is pretty easy to do in this. Just click on it again and find a color a little bit lighter. There we go. Did it work? It's really hard to tell for some reason. Nope, no, it worked. There you go. So this should allow it to be visible, those parts to be visible in FPG Editor. So once you've done that, go up to File and go down to Overwrite. Click that. Now it is overwritten, and you should see, if you go back to wherever you had them, so in the pics folder for me, it should be there. So first I need to actually delete all of these. So I just deleted them for the tutorial, but you can just move them. That's what I recommend. I was just, because I'm not going to be using any of the other ones. I'm just going to be using this one for now. So once they're, just make sure that all of the BMP files that you have not edited are out of the pics folder before you move on to this next step. So any of the ones that you've edited, make sure they're in the pics folder, otherwise move them out. So now go back, and this time we're going to be using noise.cmd. So make sure your file is inside the pics folder and click noise.cmd. And just like that, it's done. Once it says press any key to continue, do that. And now, once you go back, it will have noise on it, or just the lines right there. You can see it has the lines on it that were like on the sprites that we saw earlier. That means it worked. So now we don't need to have this open anymore. We can close that, discard changes, doesn't matter for now. And now we're going to need to go to, let's copy this for now, and go to Smart FPG Editor, the last thing we have. That will also be in the description. So open that and go to open up Smart FPG Editor. Once you've done that, this will open up, and let's go back to our files actually. Now you're going to want to open up an FPG file, so just click on this folder icon, and we're already in the SOR remake data folder. This will have, so just whichever file you used before, so axle.fpg, open that up. Whoops. There you go. And now you can see we have all of them open again. And here's the one that we edited before, what we want to do is take your BMP file and drag it into Smart FPG Editor. So as you can see, I don't think I made it light enough. It still thinks that it's transparent. Don't mess with these options. They don't actually do anything. So what we learned is that even messing around with the color, you might need to go a little deeper with the color, because it's kind of sensitive with what blacks are will be transparent in the editor. But basically what you want to do is make sure the code is in line with whichever sprite you chose to edit. So I chose 1, so you want to keep it to 1. And once you're done with that, just click OK. And now you can see that it was replaced successfully. So you're now free to click save, and now that will save the axle.fpg file wherever that is, where is SOR remake. So now what you can do is take this file, and I'll just copy it for now, and take it to your SRO folder and create a new folder called data. You might already have it in yours, but if not, create it again. It'll be in this folder right here, and double click it, open it up, and paste your FPG file. Now that you've done that, you should be able to play as your character in the game. So we're gonna test it out. So here we are in game. All we need to do is check the character, see if it works. So we'll go to new game, and here's Axel. Just click on him. That's the one we used. And let's just start a route real quick. So as you can see, there's our frame that we replaced. So obviously it worked, which is good. Good, that's what we wanted, of course. So yeah, as you can see, the shadow also changed. And there's still the transparency problem that I talked about earlier. That's something that you'll have to fix on your own. That's not because I messed up there. That was my fault. So, but as you can see, it works. And all we need to do now is fix the control point. Now, it doesn't look bad at all right now. Actually, it looks completely fine. But this is for if you are doing bigger sprites, you might have trouble with the control point, and I'll explain what that is in just a second. So let's open back up Smart FPG Editor. Here we are, and double click on our sprite that we chose and zoom in a little bit. So as you can see, here it is. Now what you need to do to change your control point is click this up here, toggle control points edition mode. Click on that, and as you can see, we now have a control point here. Now this is a pretty well placed control point. We're actually very close to, it's actually very close to where it needs to be. But sometimes if you do have bigger sprites, it won't be in the correct place, and you'll have to move it. And where would you move it, that is? You need to move it to the very bottom center of the sprite, so about right there. as you can see. Oh no. There is a problem. Oh no. Alright, anyways. Like I was saying. Oh god. Okay, so basically what I was saying was just place it here at the very bottom, center, and exit. Don't mess with it too much, otherwise it'll do errors like that. I've had that happen a few times. It's very annoying. You basically just have to mess with it a little bit to get it to work. Otherwise it'll crash like that. So once you've done that, just click save again, and it should be at the correct control point. So we'll try it real quick. So now you can see it's moved perfectly into place. And if I were to continue to create the rest of this custom character, I think it would look pretty good. I mean, they're very similar looking characters to begin with. But overall, I think if you were to continue with this, it'd look pretty great. So, well, that's about it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this was helpful for those of you who'd like to create custom content for this game. It's definitely an older game, but still one that I'd like to see more of in the community. If you want more tutorials like this, leave a like and comment down below on what you'd like to know how to do. I've also left a link to the SR Remake community forum, which has a bunch of mods and tutorials for the game, so make sure to check that out if you want to learn more. Otherwise, that's it for this video, so thank you again for watching, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Alright, bye.